Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to East Providence Lanes here in East Providence, Rhode Island. Our host, Mike Sodoma, has put out a 41-foot oil pattern custom to NEBA for the finals of the NEBA Dexter Turbo Grips Non-Champs Singles event. And we are here in the round of 32 in the finals. We've completed qualifying, and this is the first round of the finals. We are covering lanes 5 through 8 as featured on the live stream, and then we'll move over to 9 and 10 for the finals. And we are actually, funny enough, using for 32 bowlers, we're using 32 lanes for our first round. Normally we don't do that. Normally we'll have four on a pair, 2 on a lane, and we'll only use 16 lanes for the finals. But here we are going for the full 32, which means there's action happening. We're on lanes 7 and 8. There's action happening up on lanes 33 and 4 because we're not using 1 and 2, and even 35 and 6 because we had a breakdown on 19 and 20. So needless to say, the official binoculars will not help us. So there are matches way up there. We'll cover all the matches that are happening up there, and obviously next time we'll recap the winners. So welcome, everybody. It is the Dexter Turbo Grips Non-Champs Singles, so thanks to Paul Sylvia at Dexter and our friends at Turbo Grips adding $1,000 to this event, NEBA number 1007. And we'll cover some of the matches that are in front of us here. First of all, let's talk about a match just off to our right. It is Malik Grove, who was our high qualifier. Malik shooting on the fresh. How about 226 over? The only person to break 1,200 in the qualifying, and it is a 5.19 to 1, so basically a 5-to-1 ratio, 30 mils, so quite a bit of oil, and a 5-to-1 ratio. So when the ball comes off the end of the pattern, we're seeing some pretty sharp left-hand turns on these on this fresh, and it'll be interesting to see how people play it. You can actually see Malik's shot over to your right, and there's a shot, and he just rips the rack, and that is, by the way, the front three for Malik, and ironically he is bowling Jasmine Mason, Gigi, and Gigi was our 32 qualifier, Malik number 1. So we had 32 qualifiers and no bye rounds, so it means 1 bowls 32, 2 bowls 31, etc., etc. So out here on 7 and 8 we have Jesse Gibson against Bob DiMuccio. Jesse was the number 6 qualifier, Bob number 27. And to the left of them then on lane 6 right now, Eric Smythe bowling, and he was the number 3 qualifier, and unfortunately goes through the beak there for a 4-7-10. He is bowling against Michael Carter, who was the number 30 qualifier. So here's, and it is DiMuccio with the front 3. Hold on, are these guys going backwards? I think they are. Jesse is going left lane, then right lane. Normally it's PBA, which means you go right lane, then left. But here is, these guys have it backwards. There's no rule specifically against that, but it is, normally we do it the other way. So Smythe goes through the split and leaves the open. Mike Carter, meanwhile, has kicked things off with a double. So 138 entries here for the non-champs. We had 3 on a pair for 2 rounds this morning, 9 o'clock and 12:30. And then we took 32 qualifiers straight in, which means no buys. We will bring you 5 rounds of finals coverage here, as well as the champions interview. Now Gigi is quite a bit crossing the lane, and she floated one out to the about the 6th board there maybe, and it came screaming back. So definitely some room to roam here. If you look at the pattern, there is quite a bit of crown through the middle. So there's definitely some oil in the middle to work with and some ratio outside to work with. And it looks like all kinds of different angles of attack are in play here. Mia Stalakis shot more than 100 over this morning on the lefts. Bob DiMuccio, as we said, did well, qualifying 27th. Maybe the only lefties that made it, but we'll have to confirm that. And again, I can look up to all the way, more than halfway up the house, and see matches going on. So let's cover some of those other matches for you. It is on 35 and 6. That's the farthest match up there. It is 16 seed AJ Villa against Mia Stalakis. And now, all of a sudden, Bob DiMuccio, after the front three, comes up light for a 3-7. Kevin Tebow, one of the guys just itching to win, on 11 and 12 against Greg Green. So he's only a couple of pairs up from us here. Michael Reale, 21 and 2 against Mike Morrissey. Jamie Silva on 13 and 14 against Tom Catalano. From Sweden, Sander Kastus Lindstad on 23 and 4 against Sam Kaplan. On 15 and 16, it is Chad LePage against Dylan Worth. 25 and 6, Brian Oppie against Eldon Dunbar IV. Number 2, Nate Clark. New qualifier. Nate was high on the 1230 squad, shooting 179 over. And that turned out to be the second high qualifier, because Malik Grove shot 226 over, and then Jamie Silva 162. So the second high qualifier was Nate Clark at 179. And he is bowling Alex Carden on 17 and 18. It's Frank Bouchard on 27 and 8 against Justin Haggerty. On 3 and 4, we have Tyler Levesque against Tim Giguere. 29 and 30, Courtney Parento against Mark Gonsalves. 29 and 30. And we covered 5 and 6. Jeremy Hartbarger, another one of those guys. It's like, you haven't won a NEBA? He's so good. 31 and 2 against Sean Buck. And then we have Halvar Hagen Nielsen. And there's another problem shot for Smythe here on lane 6. That's 2 in a row up through the beak there. Now you can watch Bob DiMuccio play the middle. He's really riding that hold right down the lane, and he just flushed that one. It is Halvar Hagen Nielsen against Chris DeSantos on 33 and 4. So those are all your matches. I'm sure you won't remember them. I know I won't, but we'll cover who wins as we get down to the round of 16 next time. Normally we don't kick into the round of 16, but we're all here, and we said, what the heck, let's get this live stream moving. So good afternoon, everybody. Great to have you here on a Saturday afternoon. And Eric Smythe having some issues on that right lane. That's 2 opens. It's going to put him substantially in a hole. He's now 35 pins down to Mike Carter here on 5 and 6. And here's Jesse Gibson, by virtue of the DiMuccio Open, only trails by 9 in his match, even though he's opened and doubled. Malik Grove with a 2-8-10. Looks like he got one in a little bit. Went down the lane. Did not make the corner. He went front 3 spare. Now he's going to have an open. Gigi, on the other hand, has 2 opens so far and no doubles. So Malik will still have a comfortable lead in his match on 9 and 10. Now Kevin Tebow, I'm watching him way up on 11 and 12. I know he re-entered, I think, and was playing at fallback and killed it the second round. Cuts did go up. For the round of, in the 9 a.m. squad cut was plus 70, 1230 plus 92. The at-large was plus 52, so reasonable scoring pace. And again, the cut did go up. I think the oil in the middle held up because of that 30 mils. And when guys carved the track, you had a little bit more swing room, so you could get the ball to recover a little better. And here's Carter, a beautiful shot there in the right lane. And that's going to be a double for Carter. 2 doubles, no opens. And 2 opens and no doubles for Smythe on 5 and 6, which means Carter has a commanding lead in that match. And here's Jesse Gibson striking on the right lane. Now these guys are going left lane, right lane. That's right. They have it mirror backwards. We all end up in the same place, I suppose. I think we have to ask and see if there's a rule against that. I don't know if there's anything we need to enforce there, how that works, but. And here's Mike Carter. That would be 3 in a row for Carter. Good shots there. He's in command of this match. And here's DiMuccio swinging it out over 15, ring 7. No love. Trying to get a double there and extend his lead. It's Tyler Levesque down on 3 and 4. Just went washout. Say thanks to Chris Sand at Turbo Grips, and of course our friends at Dexter. Paul Sylvia. Let's say thanks to both of them for their sponsorship. $1,000 added money. And Eric Smythe says, can I get a Barkle here? Can't quite get it to go across the lane and cover the 10-pin. He's desperately trying to dig out of this hole. He needed that double to really pretty much have any chance. 91.10. He's only got 2-0 looking now. And Carter looking at 220 comfortably. So looking like Carter's going to advance in that match. And here's Gigi. Could not double up herself against Malik. She's down by almost 30, 27. She's down to Malik Grove, and they're in the 6th frame here on 9 and 10. Had the regional here last weekend, and a nice showing by some local guys. We had Alex Aguirre make the step ladder and finish 3rd. Andrew Hall finished 4th. And good showing there by some New England guys. And good shot there by Malik. There now, here's Bob DiMuccio. Another ring 7. Oh, look there, he's throwing it down the oil. It seems to be working. He's not trying to work the outside. He's not trying to work the dry. He's just trying to throw it down the oil and make it happen. Yeah, some of these other matches, it's just, there's so many, it's just barely worth kind of trying to call them. And we'll find out next round who's where. A beautiful shot there by Eric. So it's really easy to know how many titles people have won here because the answer is 0. It's the non-champs. And the winner here gets a free entry and comes back tomorrow for the TOC. If you're interested in bowling, it's a 10 o'clock start tomorrow. And 1 squad. And we look forward to getting you down here if you are a NEBA champion. There is room. We have 60 lanes here at East Providence. Malik just went double. And I think he's going to run away with this match against Gigi. And meanwhile, there was a very important shot by Jesse Gibson on lane 7 because it gives him the 2-pin lead. And while Bob DiMuccio was leaving 7 pins, Jesse figured out a way to double. Coming up next week, it's Mega Bucks Bowling. Are you ready for Mega Bucks Bowling starting on Thanksgiving? There's squads, 4 squads a day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sweepers on Thursday, and oh, what a terrible shot by Jesse, and he knew it, and it's 4 through the middle, and goodbye lead. Unfortunately, that was a Yankorama, and he paid the maximum price for it. And now he's staring at a 4 count. He falls behind on count alone, and with the open, it will be Bob DiMuccio's match to step up and pull away here. If Bob can figure out how to carry 7 pins. 4 squads a day with sweepers on Thursday and Friday night. The Thursday night sweeper's the short, the Friday night's the long. And Vic tells me that the first squad on Thursday, which is the one everybody comes and bowls and then goes back and eats their turkey, is almost full. So if you're interested in bowling at 9 a.m., you really want to get signed up there. And he had I think 40 entries for the sweeper on Thursday night, whereas before he had like 4 at this time. So he's expecting 800 entries in that tournament. 800 entries, including counting re-entries and everything. So that is amazing. So if you have any inkling at all to come out, it's going to be huge money. On top, he's got $60,000 in added cash, $50,000 just from 2 sponsors. So it's a pretty amazing event now, and just for the 2nd year, Northeast Mega Bucks. And that's going to do it for Eric. He just can't get this right lane figured out. He's been through the beak 3 times and split each time. And huge shot there by DiMuccio on the left lane. And now Muccio, by virtue of that 4 count, enjoys a 20-pin lead. He was down last frame, and now he enjoys a 20-pin lead here. And Gigi with the 10-pin can go maximum 195. Malik pacing now to 2-teen. This is on 9 and 10. Hey, Eric throws it so beautifully. He just had a lot of trouble on that right lane. Just didn't know what to do with it. And Muccio doubles, figures out the 7-pin problem, and his 20-pin lead is now 30. And now he's pacing to 210. Jesse Gibson must strike out to make Bob mark in the 10th. And again, that 4-load, really painful. Let's check into this Levesque match. And Tim Giguere, Tyler staring at 203 possible. And now Giguere has got a 9 count in the 10th. The most he can go out now is 192. So Tyler Levesque on lane 4 will have a chance to get up and win his match. And Jesse, of course I flush it now. Thank you very much for nothing. And Jesse's going to be wishing he had that shot back. Haven't we all done that? And this is down on 3 and 4. Tim Giguere does make the spare, looking at a $190, which means Tyler, who has 143 in the 8th, would need the first one, then 9 spare to tie. And let's see what Giguere does on this fill shot here. Meanwhile, Malik running away with his match against Gigi. And ring 10 there. Unfortunately, Jesse cannot go off the sheet to force a mark out of DiMuccio, and it will be Bob DiMuccio moving on. Giguere, very important fill here, goes through the beak for 8. And that's 190. So Tyler Levesque will need the first one and a little bit of count to win his match. This is going to be on your left. It is lane 4. And Tyler getting lined up now, and let's see if we can watch his shot. Actually, let me try to do a little trick here. Let's see if we can get over here. There, you can see Tyler there on the left. Needs this strike to win the match. Ball's away, turn up, way outside. Comes up for the super washout, and unfortunately that's not going to be enough. Tim Giguere will move on, as will Carter, as will DiMuccio, as will Grove. Those are your winners. And the match is right in front of us. Let's check in on the Kevin Tebow match. And guess what? We're going to find a 1-pin match here with Kevin on 11 and 12. He can go off the sheet. He's at 142, and he goes high for a fast 8 in the 10th. Both bowlers 141 and 142 in the 8th. Kevin with a 1-pin advantage and does not strike in the 10th. If he makes this and then strikes, he'll force his opponent to get the first one. His opponent is Greg Green. So it is Tebow against Green. Tebow 182 maximum now, so neither bowler able to open this pair up on 11 and 12. And Kevin does cover the 4-7, and now a strike will give him 182 and force Green to get the first one on the 10th. There's a good shot there by Gigi, finishing things off. And it will be 212 for Bob DiMuccio moving on. Just that one shot by Jesse. Just a killer. And now here's Kevin. You see this on the right here. Here's Kevin's shot. Ball's away and crumbles the bucket for the strike. Huge 10 count there. Okay, it is now Green. Greg Green up on lane 12. Let's see if we can show you that shot or get something close to it. Here is Green up on 12. Must have the first one. Count irrelevant. If he doesn't get the first one, he shoots 181 and loses by 1. So he must have this strike. And ball's away. And light in the pocket for a bucket. And that means Kevin Tebow will move on. And that's going to conclude all of our matches right in front of us. We will be back in a little bit. Malik Grove just kicked out the 3-6 and gets that strike. And so we will be right back, folks, with the round of 16. And come on back. See you in a bit. Hey, buddy. You done?